After our super contentious vote about who to keep on the Soak Show, who to vote off, Audrey Conklin could unfortunately not be here today. But that's not going to stop us from having a rousing debate, and today's debate topic is about newly signed Carolina Panthers safety Eric Reid and his seemingly random 6 drug tests. How many times has he been tested since being drafted or traded in September?
Six. The 7th that he was talking about, the first one was the one that was required by him joining a team. 6 have been random.
So, as he says, he's not a mathematician, and so the probability is probably, less than 1% chance that he would be randomly selected this amount of time since only signing in September. But we're going to break it down. What do you think, Wellington? Do you think this is random or is something else at play?
Well, like you said, it's less than 1%. The odds are actually, I believe, 0.017% of that happening. And so, that
stats department.
Yeah, the Daily Caller stats department coming out in full force today. It's obviously pretty clear what's going on here. Eric Reid was one of the first NFL kneelers beside Kaepernick.
Close friends with Kaepernick. He helps participate in his Know Your Rights campaign to this day. He's active on Instagram with this whole social justice messaging and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And obviously that hurt the NFL ratings. Having a guy like Kaepernick or Eric Reid is bad for the NFL. It hurt their ratings tremendously. And the NFL is doing everything they can to deal with these anthem kneelers. So Eric Reid, when he was looking for a team to play for this season, he said, I don't really know if I'm going to kneel. He ended up kneeling. And now here we are. The NFL is, I think it's
7 drug tests later.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that, these random drug tests that are computer generated aren't specifically that random. And Eric Reid's going to probably have a tough time proving that. You have to prove that the computer was somehow messed with to show that this isn't actually random, but, it might be able to happen, and who knows?
So do you think that's what it is, Moneybags? Do you think it's because he kneeled, he's being drug tested so much?
So first, I just want to provide a little bit of background on sort of why we're talking about this right now. Eric Reid, a member of the Carolina Panthers, played against the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football. After the Carolina Panthers loss, he received a notice to report to get his 6 drug tests since he signed with the team. Mm-hmm. That was Monday. That's why we're talking about it. And so I do think it is very telling that it keeps happening. And so at the end of November, when he received about his 5th drug test, the NFL Players Association filed a motion to look into it for him on his behalf after he talked about it then. So it's clearly just a continuing process of what I would say would be almost entrapment, of trying to
vocab guy,
trying to find Eric Reid in violation of the NFL policies so they can end him.
Do you think the Carolina Panthers are actively trying to get rid of him? Do you think that they stand to gain more with him off of their roster than perhaps with him on?
No. I think the Panthers knew the risk when they decided to sign him. And you know what? His play on the field has been good.
He's a good player. He's a talented player. There's no disputing that. So do you think it's the NFL that's maybe just trying to rid themselves of this last problem? He's one of the only kneelers left, if not the only one. Do you think that they're just trying to scrub him out of history?
I do. And another thing that hasn't been reported as much is that Eric Reid has been fined twice this year for hits. One of them was a hit against the Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, in which following the hit, him and Eagles tight end Zach Ertz got into a fight. Mm-hmm. Reid was fined, Ertz was not. Reid appealed the fine and didn't have to pay for it. That being said, the second fine has yet to be determined on whether or not the appeal has yet to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he also get into it with Malcolm Jenkins, too, of the Eagles?
He did. That was before the game. They got into a fight. They have more of a history in regards to the off the field stuff that Jenkins and Reid have tried to do in regards to sort of the Kaepernick Know Your Rights movement.
Right. They kind of disagree on how to deal with the whole social justice issue in the NFL. So there's no doubt that Eric Reid is outspoken. He's not afraid to speak his mind. He has a lot of opinions. And he's been kind of a good liaison for Colin Kaepernick because he's still in the NFL. And as we know, Colin Kaepernick remains unsigned. But there's no doubt that there's something going on with these drug testing. What is it? You're only allowed to be tested 6 times as an individual by the NFL before it starts to get like a little shaky and like weird legal ramifications. So he's right there at his threshold. It sounds like we're kind of in united agreement that there might be something else going on other than just sheer probability.
A little fishy.
Maybe a little fishy.
Roger Goodell sucks.
So let us know in the comments what you think is going on. Is this because